fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there.
It's here, the G.I. Joe collection.
Hello and welcome back to my own personal 80s toy museum. Nice of you to visit. And the channel just hit a bit of a milestone, so I wanted to do something epic for 100,000 subscribers. Good golly, Miss Molly, thank you all for hitting the subscribe button, joining the tribe and hitting subscribe. I started this channel out all those years ago as a little hobby channel to reminisce about some of my favorite things of the past, and I still look at it as a little hobby channel. Still having fun doing it, and happy to see so many people are having fun watching along. So, for this particular video, some years back, I went through my entire G.I. Joe figure collection, and I've gotten a few since that video, so I'm going to go through this whole updated collection now. Not too long ago, I went through the Cobra collection, so I'll post a link for that video down in the description and in the comments, but for this video, let's go through the G.I. Joe figure collection. I've got 82 to 86 on the bottom, also known as the Sunbow years, and then everything after that, 87 to 94, and there's some really cool stuff in there. There's some neon as well. I don't have everything. It's not a complete collection. Don't collect them all, as I always say. That's my motto. But I got a lot of the ones I love, and some of the ones I couldn't pass up because the price was just too amazing at some of the conventions that I've gone to over the last few years. So let's get into it, starting with 1982, or really 1983. The 1983 reissues with swivel arm battle grip of the 1982 figures. Kicking it off with one of my very first Joes. It's Short Fuse, the Mortar Soldier. Not my original Short Fuse, actually. My original one is over up on the Men on Card wall, right up there. Magna carded onto a reproduction card. But this is a different one I picked up somewhere along the way. I can always tell because my original Short Fuse had a burn mark from magnifying glass in his helmet. Really nice paint on this one. Comes with a helmet with the visor, mortar backpack. And next to him is actually my original rock and roll. Never did replace him. Always meant to grab another one because this one is really well loved. No paint left on his chest. Lost the bipod ages ago. Thumbs have been broken and re-glued. Can't believe that glue has held up all these years. It's impressive. But the original rock and roll keeps on rocking and rolling. Next to him is Grunt. Everybody loves Grunt. The face of G.I. Joe in the initial year. Beautiful condition. Just this one was mint. As recent as just a few years ago, you could find even 83 Joes in shape that was this nice for pretty cheap. Thinking something like $30 Canadian. It's about 25 American or a little less. And my first Joe, not my actual first Joe, he's long gone, but Breaker, communications officer, beautiful condition again. I haven't really taken a close look at these for quite some time, so it's nice to go through this and just see what I have. Remember if I'm missing any parts to look for. Good old Breaker. And next to him, Zap is a figure I have picked up quite a bit because he keeps breaking. I feel like I've broken this bazooka of his a couple of times. You can see it's been glued there. Super loose knee on him. But nice condition, other than the loose knee and the bazooka that keeps busting. Another one of my old favorites is Flash, the Laser Trooper. A little bit of a loose helmet on him. And geez, I'm actually surprised at how nice some of these look. And Stalker, the Ranger. Great camo paint job on him, and the, what they call that, the pulverizer assault rifle. Classic. And next to him is someone who served with them in Vietnam. It is the original Snake Eyes. All black, as the story goes. They didn't paint him to save some money, and he ended up being the coolest looking original Joe of all, despite the old black color scheme. With the Uzi and the explosives, I always thought it was ammo. Nice looking figure. And next to him is old Scarlett O'Hara, who has fallen far too many times since she doesn't have peg holes in her feet. So I used some sticky tack, and it's kind of funny. Over the years, I think it's melting. It's like oozing out. Didn't look like that when I first attached her. Busted waist there, really thin piece there. So don't let this one fall if you've got this one. And the vehicle drivers for the initial year. We got Grand Slam here. I had this one as a kid. Wow, this one's like mint condition. So this is, I think, the only straight arm Joe I have. I tried to find him in swivel arm, but I think he's harder to find because they did the silver pads. Grand Slam with the jump in '83. So pretty sure he's out there, but a little harder to find. Hell Driver. And the Vamp Driver. It's clutch. And there's not much you can do with these O-ring figures in terms of dynamic posing, but I just figured Clutch is the type of guy. He doesn't have a weapon to hold or any type of accessory, so I just have him with his arms crossed, impatient. Picture Clutch being an impatient guy waiting to burn some rubber and drive somewhere. And the Mobat Driver, Steeler, who also came with an Uzi, not the original Uzi. Thank goodness for reissues. A little visor that flips up. And next to him is the MMS, Mobile Missile System Operator, Colonel Hawk, the original leader of G.I. Joe. And it's always bugged me. The reason I never got Hawk when I was a kid was because he looked just like Short Fuse. And I just don't like how they use the exact same head and almost the exact same blonde. Short Fuse was one of my favorite figures, so I can't help but look at this and think Short Fuse. So to try to differentiate him a little bit from Short Fuse, picked up this cap from Marauder Gunrunners, and it fits this original figure perfectly. It's a little snug, so it won't fall off. It's snugger than his helmet is under his arm. So just a little thing to make your Commander Hawk look more like top brass. And the last of the first row, this is not an original Joe. This is General Flag, one of the, was it 90s or 2000s figures. Came in a comic pack, but it's unfinished business. It's a figure that should have been. So I've got him down here with all the other Joes. Comes with a removable hat, cap, little briefcase. Stole something from Destro, I guess. And a pistol. Don't believe that's the one he originally came with, but cool to have a General Flag in between the two original field commanders of G.I. Joe. Here's the other field commander. It's Master Sergeant Duke. One of my all-time favorites. Right up there with Snake Eyes 85. Love me some Duke. Look at that grin. Love the hair on Duke too. Yeah, Yeah, great figure. Loved it. Still do. And next to him, hide your gumbo. It's everybody's favorite Cajun. It is Gung Ho. With the old Marine emblem on his chest. Can't do that anymore without, I guess, licensing it. Paying the Marines something. Strange camo on him. I always thought that was strange camo with the blue. Kind of looked like bubblegum camo to me. And as a kid, I just thought that was some kind of gun, but I know it's a grenade launcher, and it's weird that the Gyrene didn't come with some kind of assault rifle. I guess he's got a pistol on his leg there, but that's the only weapon he came with. And then there's Doc, the medic, another fantastic figure. Comes with a grenade launcher, I guess. Could be whatever you want in your imagination. Flare or something, I don't know. Doc's he's not like Lifeline. He's not a conscientious objector. That looks like a pistol. He'll heal guys, but if someone's trying to hurt his patients, he'll put a bullet in him too. And Doc also came with this stretcher. Little pack on the one side, and you can put hurt Joes on the other side. And one of the more fragile Joes. I don't know how many times I've broken heels on different tripwire figures, but it's the mine detector tripwire. So there's some extra flash on the wire here. These heels are brutal. Look at that. Yep, there's a busted heel right there. And I tried to grind this stand down a little bit so there wasn't too much pressure, but you can still crack. I always wished he had a removable helmet. But I guess he comes with enough stuff. He's got a bunch of removable mines on his backpack there. And finally, it's Airborne. The other Indian, Native, First Nations, whatever you want to refer to them as. And looks pretty good. Most of these that I see have been discolored really badly. Oh, we got some cracked elbows. A lot of these will have cracked elbows right there. It's hard to spot, but that's usually where that's going to happen. And yo, snow. A lot of people who could use some snow right now. We got a heat wave going on outside. Snow Job. He is the Joe's con man. Back in the 80s, 70s, even before that, the term snow job meant a con job. So that was Larry Hama's way of using a little pun and also adding a little personality to this guy as well. Skis that attach onto the backpack, ski poles. Really ahead of his time back then. That was one of the really awesome early figures that came with a ton of stuff, when most of the figures were only coming with one or two weapons. Backpack. Torpedo. Navy SEAL. He's a Navy SEAL just like Jesse Ventura. And yep, it's busted. I remember now. I busted one of the little, whatever this is supposed to be, things off the backpack. So next time I'm at a convention and there's a parts bin, gotta remember to look for a backpack for Torpedo. Comes with a harpoon gun, flippers. Always wished he came with a removable helmet. Love when the scuba guys, the divers, come with removable helmets. Wetsuit didn't have one either. Speaking of removable helmets, for guys who need oxygen, it's Ace, the Sky Striker pilot. Kind of looks like the Michelin Man. All these ribs. That pops off. Man, I loved this figure. I didn't have a Sky Striker as a kid, but one of my best friends did. And as awesome as the Sky Striker was, it was even better because it came with Brad Armbruster. Ace. Wild Bill, yeehaw! Pilot of the Dragonfly helicopter. Here comes the cavalry. Oh, I've never noticed that before. His revolvers are put in backwards. His legs. So we're into the drivers for 83. It's CoverGirl, the driver of the Wolverine tank, which is coincidentally right down there. Got a modern figure in it. Put together thanks to Marauder Gunrunners. And there's CoverGirl, the fashion model. Looking very fashionable in her high boots. Some kind of tech on her leg there. Comes with Stalker's pulverizer. And it's cool when you see this. The Joes with their own personalized insignias. She's got a personalized Wolverine insignia on her arm. And I thought it was cool too that they didn't just reuse Scarlet's head. It's a different head sculpt for CoverGirl. And next to her, saw him a little earlier. Silver Pads Grand Slam, one of the more rare figures. Kind of tough to find. Came with a jump. So I've got the platform a couple shelves up, but the pack luckily fits on him on this shelf. It's just the original Grand Slam now with swivel arms and silver pads. Cool to differentiate him from Flash, who's right in front of him on the shelf there. And we saw him earlier. It's the version 2 of Grunt, who came with the Falcon Glider. Tan backpack and outfit. Just a repaint of the original figure. Looks nice and tan though. And beside him is I think we're getting into the 84 figures now. It's Roadblock, heavy machine gunner with Mod Deuce, which is filthy. I got this one many years ago, and the Mod Deuce was covered in some kind of grime. I've never been able to clean that off, whatever that is on there. So I gotta find myself another clean Mod Deuce maybe one day. Backpack with a pod on it. Watch out for this guy's heels too. Just as fragile as Tripwire's heels. Broken a few of those too. And I love this guy. This is Mutt. And Junkyard, his trusty canine. With a brown belly. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Leash on the dog there. Mutt comes with a nice little handgun, a little stick. That's for cobras. He'd never use that on junk. Mask. I just thought this was a gas mask, but I think it's a muzzle to, not to protect him from Junkyard. Junkyard wouldn't bite Mutt. Great looking figure. And another one of my all-time favorites. I'm saying that a lot today. A lot of these are my all-time favorites, but I love Blowtorch. I loved how bright he was back when most of the Joes were green. OD green or military looking, and then you got this, he looked like fire. Straight fire. Yellow and red color scheme. Blowtorch. Plugs into the backpack. The mask plugs into the chest. Removable mask and helmet. Instead of like tripwire, everything was just non-removable. There's a lot going on with this figure. Blowtorch rocked. And another figure that rocked was Ripcord, the Halo Jumper, parachuter. Beautiful color scheme on him, very similar to Stalker. All camo, black gloves, just camo and black. Great color scheme on him. Everything removable again, the mask, the helmet. It's great when they went the extra mile, and by 84 they could add a few extra accessories. It's the other animal companion for 84. It is the Eagle, Freedom with Spirit. Such a beautiful figure. Love Spirit. Charlie Iron Knife. He's got a couple of iron knives on him. On his leg, on his chest. And who doesn't love Recondo? Recondo is another one of the coolest Joes, the Jungle Trooper. Not his original rifle. Gotta remember to look for one at the conventions. Original one was green, like the backpack. It was cool that the backpack had this handle, but you couldn't grab it. I remember breaking the thumbs on some Recondo figures trying to grab that handle. It's too thick. Epic mustache. That one's for you, Adam. Bet you Mindbender sampled the DNA of that mustache to create his own mustache. It's one for the ages. Cutter. Not one of the flashiest figures. We're into the vehicle drivers for 84, but the killer whale driver or pilot. Rocking the bell bottoms, got jeans on. I like how he was just an average looking guy. Boston Red Sox fan, looks like. With a life jacket on. With so many Joes that were very military looking, OD green or tan. It's cool to just have a dude. Just a navy looking dude. And here's one out of the ordinary. Deep Six. How can you hate Deep Six? In terms of like play, yeah, it's not great. But I just see this figure and I hear Charles Bronson. What do you got a problem? Who cares about articulation? Yeah, only the arms can move up and down. But he had this action feature. You could pump. Use a pump and he could float in the water. He's cool. And then Thunder, who is actually my original Thunder from my childhood. My best pal when I was a kid bought me the Slugger, which came with Thunder, so this is a very special piece for me. Great helmet with not just a visor, but this earpiece, antennas, the monocle, the black pants, they look like leather pants, and the black leather gloves. Thunder rocked. Thunder was lightning. And then we got another tan recolor. We saw a tan Grunt earlier, and here's tan Clutch, who came with the Vamp Mark II. So just the original Clutch, I guess. What am I doing? This is what's nice about going through this again. A few corrections. There we got Grumpy Clutch again, with the arms crossed. And here's another one that snuck into the Sunbow shelf. He's not an original figure, but he belongs with them because he was on the early Sunbow episodes. It's Sparks. And this was a, I don't know, convention exclusive or some kind of not widely available exclusive figure. Colonel Sharp's buddy, communications guy. And it looks perfect, other than the head. The head's a little small and he's got this teeny tiny helmet, which is more like a modern, or the 25th anniversary figures came with a helmet like that. But he fits with them. And we're into the 85 guys now. And this is Barbecue. Another very special figure. God bless the firefighters. God keep you safe. Barbecue, where's the fire? Great figure. And a little thing on the side here to put the water gun, the nozzle on there. Came with an axe. The hose. Fantastic figure. And, oh, another legend. One of the all-time legends. It's Flint. Warrant Officer Dashiell Fairborn. The John Wayne of G.I. Joe. Comes with a shotty. Very simple, but one of the coolest G.I. Joe weapons. The green shotgun, the shell suspenders, the beret, camo pants, the Vietnam boots, backpack from head to toe. Flint rocked. Duke is a hard guy to measure up to, but I think when they came out with Flint as the next leader, or second or third in command, depending on your comic or cartoon continuity, Flint definitely measured up. Lady J, Flint's pal, possible future wife, and came with this weird javelin gun camera type of thing, kind of a bright green. Always felt like they could have went a little, like on the show, a little, more realistic military green. But I guess for a female figure, they wanted something that was a little brighter, something that popped out a little bit more. And Alpine. I had this one. Lots of fun adventures with Alpine outside. Climbing rocks and trees and bushes. So much stuff with Alpine. Before, figures came with tons of accessories. This guy came with tons of accessories. Little submachine gun, little hook gun, grappling gun, the pick with string on it. It's another climbing tool. Could put it in the backpack. The backpack had a little thing here for the hook, as well as that might be, you could put the hook there too maybe, or the rifle or the gun. Alpine was super fun to play with. Super brittle thumbs though. Broken that a few times. And Alpine's buddy. These guys were joined at the hip. On the cartoon it's Bazooka. Old Bazooka, who does not have his original bazooka because I never liked how it looked. So I gave him this, forget what toy line this is from, might be Sergeant Rock or something similar to that. But a guy named Bazooka needs to have a big bazooka. So gave him that one. The backpack is fine though. Another epic mustache on him. And their other buddy from one of the episodes. That's how he's introduced in the cartoon. They run into Quick Kick, who is shooting a commercial in the Arctic, I think it was. He just happens to be barefoot and bare-chested in the Arctic. That was back when you didn't have to worry about realism in cartoons. Everyone's just too caught up on realism these days, making things grounded. But this guy showed up in the Arctic looking like this, and it was fine. Comes with nunchucks, sword, backpack for the sword to slide into. Great looking figure. All of these early years look fantastic. And airtight. I love airtight. Saw a comment recently on the channel where someone was apologizing for liking airtight, for him being one of their favorite figures, and don't ever apologize for what you love. But yeah, I totally get it. Airtight rocks. Hostile environment. He runs in to the toxic, dangerous places that everyone else is running out of. Got the air hose on the back. Cool looking weapon with a hose on it. And cool looking color scheme too, yellow and green. Kirchner. And number 1. Whenever people ask me who's your favorite Joe, I always go, well, Duke is close, but Snake Eyes. 1985 Snake Eyes. Still a masterpiece to this day. What an amazing looking figure. Took the original and just built on it a little bit. Great looking visor, amazing looking sword. That can go in the backpack. Brought back the Uzi. And honestly, the reason he's number 1. The figure is great, but what puts it over the top is we got another animal companion here. It's his trusty wolf, Timber. The commando clad in black with the white wolf. Very cool combination. And another animal companion came out in '85. Included with Shipwreck the Sailor. It's nap time. It's Got Polly the Parrot. Came with, this is not his original, whatever it was, boarding hooks or whatever it was. I just grabbed that off of a Modern figure. And I do remember the original musket he came with had a little loop on it that you can also hang on the hook. So this is not my original shipwreck. Whoever had this before me chopped that off. And geez, one of the first figures to have a tattoo. Tattoos are so common now. It's almost more common to have a tattoo than not have a tattoo. It's like the people without tattoos are unique. But he had a tattoo when hardly anyone else did. Desert Trooper Dusty. He's got the soft goods flap on him. That was always such a cool feature of Dusty. Protect that neck. Desert Camo. Marauder Gunrunner's bipod, I believe. Yeah. And his buddy. I've got these guys set up on this shelf to, if they had like a regular buddy on the show, they're beside their buddy. And Dusty and Footloose had that great episode where they were in a mauler against Destro's experimental tank. It's the super strong Footloose who can easily press Destro over his head. Infantry. And into the vehicle drivers for 85. It's Heavy Metal. Always takes me a second to remember this guy's name because he wasn't on the show much. Back when everyone was getting either a full episode dedicated to them or even just, something to do in them. Heavy Metal hardly ever showed up. Mauler driver. Funny looking face. It's a dirty. Like you can see where the goggles protected his eyes, but the rest of his face is dirty. Reissue or reproduction microphone. And the Ostriker driver crankcase. Good old Cranky. This big rifle. Very German look to him. Looks like he's ready for Oktoberfest. And Yo Snow again. It's the other Snow Joe. From the early years, it's Frostbite. The Snowcat driver with his humongous scope. Not much to say about him other than he's awesome. And he's just like CoverGirl had that custom Wolverine insignia. He's got a Snowcat insignia. And last one on this third shelf is Toll Booth. Looks like a construction worker. He's got the hard hat and a hammer. Little vest on him. And final row on the Sunbow shelf, Admiral Keelhaul from the USS Flag. Not original gun, not original coffee mug. Original one didn't come with a coffee mug. I think this is just like a reproduction, smaller pistol, and then that, I believe, that mug is from the anniversary. Was it website exclusive? And the Joe's Fearless Leader. Some people who weren't happy about the new Transformers leader in 86, Rodimus Prime. But I think in 86, when this guy came along, not too many people were upset that Hawk took over and Duke became second in command. General Hawk, now brunette, just to differentiate him a little bit from Duke. And I do not like his helmet at all. Never liked it as a kid. I always used just one of the standard original G.I. Joe helmets for Hawk. So I just have him holding his helmet like this because it's so chunky looking. And another commander. What is he, 4th in command during the Sunbow years? In terms of like field, I'm not including guys like Colonel Sharp, but it's Beachhead, the new Ranger. Fantastic figure. Had a lot of fun with Beachhead back in '86. And another super cool figure for '86. It's Low Light, the Night Spotter. Don't call him a sniper. You get Hasbro in trouble. Great suit. Epic sniper rifle. Epic character. And another Gyrene. It's the Marine Leatherneck. You all know who that's based on. Hardcore Joe fans know. Came out in '86, same year as Sergeant Slaughter. So Slaughter kind of stole this guy's thunder because Slaughter was also a Marine, and this guy kind of played a little bit of second fiddle. Got the Marine emblem on the cap there. Epic rifle with a grenade launcher underneath. Man, '86 was fantastic. Every one of the first few years was fantastic, but they really got some all-time greats in '86. Wetsuit, new Navy SEAL. It's basically Torpedo, but improved. Still no removable helmet, but at least now he's got the oxygen hoses that can be removed from the helmet. Plugged into the backpack, flashlight, little jet thing, underwater jet thing. Another Snow Joe. Is he from Houston? That's odd. Guess he can't stand the heat. It's Iceberg. Kind of underwhelming compared to Snow Job, who came with skis and ski poles and a rifle and a backpack that everything could plug into. This guy just came with a big rifle. I was kind of disappointed by his lack of accessories, because by that point, guys were coming with quite a bit. Or at least give him a backpack too. Leatherneck came with a gun and a backpack. They started phasing out the original Joes in '86 and replacing them. So gone was Breaker, and the new communications officer was Dial Tone, with his funky, futuristic, sci-fi looking communications pack. It's like a disc on it. Funky looking weapon. And his buddy, Mainframe. The two tech guys. Came with a tiny for its time computer. A little portable computer. Some kind of tool. Connected to a backpack. This guy was a Marine, too. Didn't learn that until many years later. He's one of the older Joes, too. And Blowtorch was one of the brightest Joes, brightest color schemes. And here's the other super bright sci-fi. That is neon almost. The new Laser Trooper, putting Flash out to pasture. Very RoboCop look to him 1 year before RoboCop came out. This is an '86 figure. RoboCop came out in '87. Who knows, maybe someone at Hasbro saw some early sketches for RoboCop. Or maybe RoboCop copied sci-fi. And rather than putting the heavy machine gunner out to pasture, they just gave him a new outfit. Roadblock was back. Gone was Ma Deuce, replaced by this beast, which came with a stand. Great new outfit for Roadblock. And on the shelf here I've got a giant gun, and next to it, the conscientious objector. Oh yeah, and he did come with a pistol, which I thought he's not gonna, because I go by the Sunbow continuity, not the comic one, sometimes. And I didn't think he would be holding a pistol the proper way, so that's his begrudging way of holding his included pistol. He found it somewhere. He's going to take it back to HQ. Comes with his medic pack and the backpack. Got to get me the serial mail-away version someday. I think that's more appropriate. It doesn't have the pistol on the leg. They wanted the serial version to not look at all violent. Let's see if I can find that someday. And his buddy, who is not a conscientious objector, he's getting his knuckles ready to crack some skulls, crack some jaws, and it's Lift Ticket, the pilot of the Tomahawk helicopter. Lift Ticket rocks. Kind of feel like this guy can afford to be a conscientious objector because this guy keeps watching his back, fighting his battles for him. These are vehicle drivers then, and a mail away for 86. Finishing off the shelf, it is Slipstream, the Conquest pilot. Pretty simple figure, didn't come with anything, so there's nothing to lose. And Triple T driver, Sergeant Slaughter, another Marine with a swagger stick, also known as a baton to Joe fans. Always get lost. That's how pretty much he appeared on the cartoon. Camo pants and a black tank top. I think it was a different colored campaign cover on the cartoon though. And Cross Country was the Havoc driver, which got a Havoc right down there. The modern, or more modern, Cross Country. Loves to listen to his Southern rock, his Skinnerd, while he's kicking Cobra's tail. And then finally, the mail-away figure. One of the most epic mail-away figures ever. Another Sergeant Slaughter, but in his wrestling gear. He actually wore that in the AWA when he was wrestling there in 85, I think, 85 and 86. I think he was wearing this before the figure was available. Also with his swagger stick and different colored campaign cover. On to shelf 2. The 87 to 94 shelf. And I know most of these guys off by heart, but some of them I don't, so we'll see how long I can go until I have to consult an online resource. But I know this guy very well, Fast Draw. I had this one as a kid, still remember how I lost it. It was epic, the way I lost it. The house next door was being constructed, so I lost him in the foundation, like when they were digging up the house. He went into the house next door's foundation. If you can remember an epic way you lost a Joe, and not just blowing him up with a firecracker, but something crazy that was the demise of one of your favorite Joes, share it in the comments below. Fast Draw had a flip-up mask. You know, I kind of wish that figures like Airtight, Barbecue, if they couldn't have a removable helmet, at least this would have been a nice compromise. That's pretty cool. Even with a hose attaches to the backpack. The missiles are just shooting off this guy. Adjustable missile backpack. And sneak peek. Poor sneak peek. Not one of the better looking G.I. Joes. I always thought his face looked kind of weird. The whole figure kind of looks weird. This accessory is weird. It's like a big periscope type of thing, but like he can't really hold it. You'll break his thumbs if you try to grab it there. This thing was weird. Like he couldn't wear it as a backpack, and he really should have. I would call that figure a bit of a misfire compared to so many home runs that came before him. And we got Psych Out. Psychological warfare. It's about time Cobra had someone doing psychological warfare against them. Bet they love this guy. All sorts of interesting sci-fi tech gadgets. Very bright figure again. Bright green and red. Very Christmassy looking figure. Sneak peek is almost fallen over. Here's another great figure. One of the best of '87. It's Outback, the survivalist. Very Chuck Norris looking figure. Humongous backpack. Simple but great looking figure. Flashlight plugs into the leg. And crazy legs. Another paratrooper. Kind of a step down from Ripcord before him. Just a simple parachute that wraps all around him and a gun. And it's got a stock that swings out, but a lot less going on with him than Ripcord. And, you know, the red outfit and red helmet doesn't really blend in as well as Ripcord did. And this Marine cleans up real nice. It's Dress Blues Gung Ho, who strangely came with stickers. Instead of them just painting the details on his arms and on his chest, some medals there, he had stickers you could stick on there which peel off. Not his original sword. That's a modern Iron Grenadier sword, but does the trick. Really cool looking figure. Semper Fi. Everyone knows who this guy's based on. It's Tunnel Rat. Based on Larry Hama, Marvel comic writer for G.I. Joe. Great looking figure. Comes with an epic gun. Humongous backpack. Just a great looking figure. And there's an exception to every rule. This is the only modern figure that I have in with my vintage figures. It's Big Lob, which was a G.I. Joe Club exclusive, online exclusive. I had the O-ring of Big Lob years ago. Just didn't like how he was a recolor of a bunch of parts like Mercer's head. And I didn't like that he was the same size as everyone else. I think Big Lob should tower over the other Joes. So, got the modern one here. Towering over his buddy Tunnel Rat next to him. And this guy, undercover. It's Chuckles. What's he doing here? He's supposed to be with the Cobras. Actually, I do have a Chuckles. Right down here. And an extra Chuckles in with the Cobra figures. And it is shocking how many people don't get the joke. And the joke is he's undercover. You see, he blends in wherever he goes because of his Hawaiian shirt. No one can tell he's a undercover G.I. Joe agent because he's so well disguised by his undercover shirt. Not even Cobras. And some more movie stars. It's Law and Order. Got the military police Law. And the Shepherd. His animal companion. German Shepherd Order. Comes with a little spiked collar, leash. And a new member of the Arashikage clan. New ninja is Jinx. 2 swords on her backpack and this staff bladed weapon thing. Nice painted fingernails. And the star of the movie. It is the Green Beret, Lieutenant Falcon. Don't let the movie fool you. This is a great character and a great figure. Got a knife in the backpack, antenna, pump action shotgun. Real return to form, back to the early days of Joe. Very reminiscent of the 83, 84 figures. And Slaughter's Renegades. Taurus? I think his name's Taurus. Not his sword. That's from the Indiana Jones figures. But he used one in the movie, so he should have one. And Mercer. Ex-Cobra Viper who's seen the light. And I like that they kind of gave him a Cobra color scheme. Red and blue. A lighter red. And the third Renegade is Red Dog. I think it's Red Dog. Not his club. That's actually a salvo club. One of his missiles. But he uses that in the movie. He bites it. So, like Taurus, he should have his hand weapon that he used. This is where I start to get a little fuzzy on the names. I believe this is Steamroller, who was included with the Mobile Command Center. He came with a knife. You gotta love it. The guy comes with a gigantic transforming tank. The tank that transforms into a base. They gave him a knife. That's all you really need. You don't even need sleeves when you're driving the Mobile Command Center. This guy I got fairly recently. I'm pretty sure I got him after the last time I went through the collection. It's Hardtop, who came with the G.I. Joe Defiant. He was the on-the-ground tech guy, kept everything running, kept the gantry in tip-top condition, missing his mic. Need to pick up a reproduction sometime. Oh, Canada. Or should I say, bonjour, from Quebec. Same town in Quebec that I think Hasbro has an office. Is it Longueuil? Quebec, Canada. Backstop. Driver of the Persuader. G.I. Joe's first Canadian. French Canadian. Comes with a cool looking gun, kind of a revolver looking thing. Funky looking, futuristic looking helmet. He kind of looks like a Battle Force 2000 guy. And we're starting to get into those years. And another mail away, 1987's mail away. William the Refrigerator Perry, codename The Fridge, one of Da Bears. Didn't come with this Gatling gun, but I think it seemed appropriate for the fridge. And the football, I think, comes with a modern Red Dog figure, but Fridge has to have his football. And Battle Force 2000. Here we go. Maverick. Where did he fly? The Vector Jet, I believe. Now, I had him as a kid. Not the Vector Jet, but I had Maverick. And I liked him. I thought he was a really cool pilot. Worked great in any jet. Conquest looks great in that. Nice looking figure. Can almost not tell he's Battle Force 2000. Nice that he had some military green there on him. Knockdown, I think. I had him too. Can't remember the vehicle he drives. Funky looking helmet. Funky looking outfit. I like the black pants on him, but everything is looking so sci-fi at this point. Science fiction, not sci-fi the Joe. And what's your name? Backer, Blocker, I don't know. I gotta go look it up. Oh, no wonder I couldn't remember. His name is Blaster. And he is not the more memorable Blaster from the 80s. Comes with a removable face mask. And this guy's Blocker. Another Battle Force 2000 guy. Just all very tech, Star Trek looking. And a nice visor on his helmet at least. And this guy's one of the better Battle Force 2000 looking figures. This is, what's his name? It is Dodger. And I like him because he kind of reminds me of a Colonial Marine from Aliens. I mean, even his chest plate armor. Kind of reminiscent of Aliens Marines, little camera on there. He would look great with Repeater's smart gun. Not bad. Then Avalanche. Yo Snow? Least Battle Force 2000 got a snow guy. A Snow Joe. Sci-fi Snow Joe. With this little piece that always got lost. And kind of a trio of Arctic guys on the end here. It's Storm Shadow. 88. Storm Shadow. He has seen the light. Joined G.I. Joe. With a fantastic update. Got the Arashikage tattoo on his forearm. Big red backpack that doesn't go with anything other than, I guess, the tattoo. The red sword. Hand claw was great. Bow and arrow. Fantastic looking figure. And man, this guy had a lot going on. We got so little with Iceberg, so it's like they made it up to us with Blizzard. Got skis again, just like Snow Job, that could plug into the backpack. A bigger backpack, which you could kind of sit on with handles, used as like a sled. And this was crazy. He came with skis, but also snow, like ice shoes. And 2 hand weapons, a little submachine gun and a pistol. And if that wasn't enough, even his helmet's removable. Snow Job, and like none of the previous snow guys had removable headgear. So yeah, Blizzard was amazing. And continuing with the 1988 figures, row 2 of shelf 2, it is, what was his name? I know he was the point man. Spearhead, that's it. I remember because he comes with an animal companion who is tucked in behind here. Spearhead and Max. Max the Bobcat. It's an interesting animal companion to have. And Spearhead. I love orange, but man, that really sticks out. Not sure what environment he would be camoed in. Orange poppy field or something? I don't know. And there have been a few ninjas, so why not a samurai? Budo joins the Joe team in 88. Samurai warrior. Movable helmet, which doesn't stay on very well, so looks like I put some sticky tack on there years ago to keep that on there. Comes with a couple of swords. Go in the backpack, and so cool that they had one on his hip too. So they can be at the ready. Oh, another great figure. The face of 88. It is Repeater with the smart gun. Just like the Aliens guns that Vasquez and Drake used. Very cool looking gun, cool looking figure. Got some kind of digital looking camo on him. G.I. Joe was getting ready for the new millennium. And another fantastic figure. They didn't stop making great figures in 86. Shockwave. The SWAT guy. Similar to Lieutenant Falcon's backpack, with a knife on it. It's a super cop right there. From Detroit, Michigan. Shout out to Detroit. And Muskrat. New jungle fighter. Comes with a baby blue machete. It's an interesting choice of color. Little boogie board. Nice shotgun, very similar to Falcon's shotgun. And no one can tell me they stopped making good Joe figures in 86. Hit and Run is an 88 figure, but he is one of the best figures ever, regardless of what year. He's not just one of the better later figures, he's one of the better figures, period. He was awesome. The grappling hook in his duffel bag with a knife on it. A little assault rifle. Camo from head to toe, even his face and hands. Big favorite amongst Joe fans. And take me out to the ball game. Gotta get those sports guys in there. We had basketball with Big Lob and football with the Fridge, but it's hardball from baseball. Really cool looking rotating grenade launcher. So it's not a clean sweep. Not every updated figure or updated specialty is a winner. This is Charbroil, and compared to the guy who came before him, Blowtorch, nah, this guy doesn't measure up. Got a removable helmet. He actually looks exactly like Battle Force 2000 Knockdown. I always thought they used the same head. Very similar, but not exactly the same. That is really tough to get off for some reason. He's got a cool sticker on the backpack, actually. But just never liked his color scheme. It's kind of Battle Force 2000 looking. I'd rather have bright, like that guy or that guy, than, you know, tech silver, lots of silver. For some reason I don't like a lot of silver on my Joes. I like it on my Silverhawks, but not on my Joes. Lightfoot. He's the new, like, bomb defusal. Bomb detector, mine detector. Comes with a little robot. Just made Bob pop. Looks a lot like Airtight. Guess because of the yellow. And the vehicle drivers for 88. We just looked at this guy on the channel. Just did a review of the Phantom X19. Piloted by Ghost Rider. You know, one of the comments in that video, thanks first of all to everyone who checked out that video, but one of the comments was, why didn't they just name him Ghost? And that's exactly what they should have named him. Wouldn't have been any issues. Just call him Ghost. Phantom Pilot Ghost. Makes sense to me. Windmill? I think his name is Windmill? One of the ugliest Joe figures of all. Like, really, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to compete on the shelf with this guy. This guy is... He's got orange pants and lime green jacket. And the helmet is ridiculous. With the little teddy bear ears. Got a really great gun. Like a big Magnum looking revolver. Doesn't exactly cancel out the outfit. Whew. Orange stripe on the helmet too. That's something else. And here's a great version 2, or version 3, I guess. Sergeant Slaughter, Warthog driver. And this time comes with a removable campaign cover, which sticky tack, because it would not stay stuck on. So sticky tack is a great way to just keep things secure. This is the gun that's mounted on the Warthog, so I thought he'd look cool with that, since they didn't give this Sarge any baton or any handheld weapon. Wild card, I believe. Mean Dog driver. He looks a lot like Steamroller. Where is he? Steamroller, yeah. Very informal dress. Torn sleeves. Actually got a backpack for his machete. Helmet's humongous. Looks too big. He actually looks a little better without the helmet. Very bulbous looking thing. And then who's this guy? He is the driver of the Rolling Thunder. I always get confused because they called him something else in the comic, but I think it's Armadillo. I'm going to double check that. It is indeed Armadillo, and another kind of ugly looking figure. Guess it doesn't really matter, because it's all about that thing right there, the Rolling Thunder. You could include anybody with it and still be happy that you got the Rolling Thunder, but the pea soup shirt, the orange pants, the knee-high green boots. At least he's got a cool belt buckle. Oh boy. Next up is my pal Lou's favorite figure, Skidmark. Codename Skidmark. Another, what is with this orange and green combination? We're seeing this so often. Orange and green. This is the Desert Fox driver. And yikes. When they start coloring the weapons orange and the boots, yikes. I did see a cosplay though. Someone dressed up as Skidmark, and that was awesome. It's cool to see people dress up as these atrocious outfits. But the actual figure themselves, whew. And then the final figure for 1988, it was the mail away. So instead of going with a real life person like Sarge or the Fridge, they just made up somebody. No licensing rights, licensing fees. It's Super Trooper with vac metal chrome. So I said I don't like silver on my Joes. And there's an exception. And the only reason he's an exception is because it's vac metal. That is beautiful. Mirror finish. I believe he's the only vintage Joe that has vac metal chrome. So he's very unique. He stands out. He's a very cool looking figure. Very, very sparkly. And we're into the 89 figures. And the Ranger is back, this time as a Tundra Ranger. Stalker version 2, who came with a big kayak, which actually had a backpack peg. You can peg it into his backpack, but it's too big for this shelf, so just a little side pontoon. It's back there. They kept the camo. It's a little lighter than the original version, but camo pants and then white Arctic jacket and gloves. He also came with a mask, and here's a look at that mask, and a kayak, and paddle, and giant gun. This was one of the most packed, stacked, single-carded figures ever. All of this with 89 Stalker for the same price as all these other guys. And Snake Eyes was back for a third time. Version 3. A great looking figure, but just comes up short compared to the version 2 85 figure. Lots of weapons. Big Uzi with a silencer. New weird looking sword with holes in it. This kind of baton weapon. A lot of silver on him. I like the more subdued, darker looks of the first two Snake Eyes figures. Silver really doesn't let him blend in at night. DJ. Another Battle Force 2000 figure. And he's missing some stuff. I think a hose. Yep, that's definitely a Battle Force 2000 future looking figure there. And another original Joe gets an upgrade. It's rock and roll. If I can get him out of here. Some of these guys come with so much stuff that it's going to get a little trickier to pull them out of here. Rock and roll with 2 handheld Gatling guns with big ammo belts that feed into his backpack. Got a little rifle. Attaches to his leg. Awesome looking figure. The gun's a little goofy compared to the M60 the original one came with. But great looking figure, looking jacked. Wearing black gloves. Cool looking figure if you just give him another M60, I think. Seems like 89 was more about giving more bang for your buck. And this guy can definitely do some big bangs. Back Blast. Who comes with... He's got a knife that goes on his arm. He's got this big ammo belt. Got like a monocle similar to Thunder. And then this weird missile launcher rig, which fires missiles. There's quite a few Joes that have like handheld missile launchers with them. And some kind of notes on his leg. And one of the main reasons I wanted to do this again was because a lot of the figures on the top two shelves, I had just been throwing them in there as I got them, not in any particular order. So I've cleared that out, and as we go, I'm going to put them in their proper order. So we're still on 89 right now. We're on Deep 6 version 2. He's got a lot more articulation this time around. He's got a removable helmet, custom painted black visor on it, and the orange works on him because he's a diver. I don't mind it as much. He's got this flotation device, backpack, and he looks great sitting in a shark. A lot more posability than the original Deep 6 had. And I always thought this guy was supposed to be Short Fuse version 2. It is downtown with big old goofy floppy helmet, but he looks just like Short Fuse. Got a great revolver, epic looking mortar with a backpack with removable shells on it, and recoil. Never thought he was one of the better looking figures. The baby blue rifle and odd double-sided weapon, sci-fi looking weapon. Didn't help. Nice backpack though, very similar to Falcon with the antenna on it. Some kind of explosive device. Not a fan of the digital camo on Joe's. I always thought it looked too futuristic. And the reporter scoop. Eat your heart out, Hector Ramirez. Had a removable helmet. Yes, he was based on a real-life reporter. Whatever his name was. Michaels or something. Really yellow and green outfit. Oh, that's movable. Movable microphone on him. Looks a lot like Airtight with the yellow and the green. And the final 89 figures. We got Countdown, the astronaut. Much needed figure for your G.I. Joe Defiant. Removable helmet. It's barely on there. Backpack. Don't know if he's complete. Kind of a thin looking suit for spacewalks. It's basically what Ace is wearing. And then the vehicle drivers. We got Payload. I don't have the original Payload. Came out in '87 with the Defiant, but I have this Crusader Payload. Thanks to a very good friend. Removable helmet. There we go. And got the yellow motif. I actually like this color scheme better than the original Defiant color scheme. A little bulkier looking suit, the big huge pack. That's where the umbilical cord would connect. Looks a little more spacewalk worthy. And then the Mud Fighter pilot, which was Dogfight. Reminded me a lot of Wild Bill. Very classic looking pilot. Brown leather jacket. Blue pants. Huge ginger mustache. The Thunderclap driver is up next. And that's the Thunderclap right there, which I called the Peppard, because it's the biggest gun in the room, and George Peppard on the A-Team always had to have the biggest gun in the room. So this is long range. Missing his gun. I believe he came with a gun, like a handgun. And this weird looking helmet. And there's like giant go-go boots for some reason. And is this Hot Seat? his name was Hot Seat the Raider. G.I. Joe Raider driver. Kind of an older looking guy, gray hair. Kind of gave me a Hannibal vibe, although I wasn't smiling like Hannibal always used to, but gray hair, black gloves, tan shirt, those orange pants again. The orange pants are back. And the final driver for the 80s was Windchill, driver of the Arctic Blast. And so in addition to his vehicle, he came with these epic skis with little machine guns on them, as well as a machine gun. Another great looking Arctic figure. Surprising he doesn't have any like bright colors on him. No bright blue or bright orange. Just like a straight up old school looking Arctic guy. Okay, we're into the 90s now, and let's start it off with one of the best of the 90s. 1990s Ambush. Came with this weird netting stuff. Came with a lot of things. A giant pistol. This tent, I guess. Another rifle, backpack that can hold a bunch of stuff. Removable helmet. Lots of stuff going on with that guy. And another football lover. It's Captain Gridiron. I guess one of the later leaders of G.I. Joe with his football bombs. And this thing had removable missiles on it. Like a giant laser pistol, removable helmet with a visor on it. Nice looking head sculpt. And it even came with elbow pads. Lots of accessories for this guy. And another great figure for 1990, it's Bullhorn, who came with a bullhorn, a megaphone, a removable gas mask, big old sniper rifle, just a nice looking deco in general, and the backpack. This was so cool. So in addition to his sniper rifle, his backpack opened up, trying to not have the pieces fly out all over the place. There's pieces of another sniper rifle that you can assemble in his backpack. And this guy has the right of might. It's salvo. Overkill is underrated, my friend. This thing is like a mine launcher with 6 mines on it. A rocket launcher with 5 rockets. You can just hit it like that and they fly out. And this is what I wish Backblast would have had. This can be mounted on his shoulder or worn as a backpack. And in addition to all that, a case, ammo case, explosive case, as well as a removable helmet. Looks just like Telly Savalas, who loves ya, baby. And another figure for anyone who was lucky enough to have the USS flag. It's Topside. He uses a rope as a belt for some reason. A little submachine gun, got a backpack with rockets on it, removable helmet. Simple looking figure, but much needed for that flag deck. And one of the guys who was prominently featured on the Deke animated series, it's Rampart. Had a little missile on his leg that you could put in his launcher, and similar to Salvo, to hit it on the back to launch it out. And a big gun that could clip on his waist. New paratrooper, step up from Crazy Legs, but still not quite as good as Ripcord, the original paratrooper. It's Freefall. Removable mask, removable helmet. Another Arctic trooper, and like Blizzard, came with a ton of stuff. Came with these snowshoes, ice shoes, machine gun with a bipod, removable ammo belt with the gun. That's super cool. And this little mortar, which came on this little stand, which had little shells in it. And a new medic. It was Stretcher. And this thing is actually missing its... supposed to be a clear shield there, but it comes with this little hover sled. Good for transporting injured Joes. With a little weapon there. Big communications pack with an antenna. And nice little removable communication device there. And one of the ugliest Joes of all. It's actually one of the final O-ring figures I ever bought. I just never wanted him because I never liked how he looked. Didn't like him as a kid. Still don't really like him now, but I was able to find him complete at a convention for really, really cheap. It's got a weird weed whacker weapon and like dual hip cannons. I like how they've got these ammo belts on them, but just weird. Weird looking camo, sunglasses, the hat with the... I like the pinned up side on the Recondo hat, but never liked how that guy looked, so he was one of the oh well, might as well final purchases I made. But one of the nicest figures of 1990 was Windchill, who came with the amazing Avalanche right there. Another amazing gift from a good friend. And this one is complete, perfect condition, bright white, comes with his pistol. These are always lost, the microphone and the little visor. Beautiful looking figure, amazing tank. That was one of the most fun videos I ever made, taking that Avalanche out to the tundra. On to the 1991 figures. So I'm missing a whole bunch, especially in the 90s. But I definitely wanted to get this one again. General Hawk with rocket pack. A little goofy compared to the more realistic, grounded earlier versions, but I love the Rocketeer Hawk. Removable helmet. Would look right at home in a Defiant. Great little machine gun, removable missiles on the rocket pack, and the wings can fold back. That's one of those things that I get it when people say they don't like how it looks, but it was just the right amount of old school looking for me. And a couple of gifts from a good brother. It's Big Ben. It's one for all those in the UK. There's a little satchel. What was it that Terry Funk's father told him? Never trust a man whose shoulders are wider than a satchel. He comes with a machine gun. He's dressed for the cold. It's nice to see an Arctic or a cold weather Joe that's not all in white. You know, he's all bundled up, but not necessarily for the tundra. And I had been looking for this one for ages. So, thank you so much, Adam, for this one. It's Dusty version 2. Comes with his little Coyote Sandstorm. And he's got a beret this time. And another figure from a gift box from many years ago. It is the latest Navy SEAL. What's his name? Tracker, I think. A little visor. Paddle. He also had an inflatable raft. And Red Star. Didn't realize when I was buying him that he had a busted crotch, so he can't stand very well. A nice looking figure. Cool looking cap. It's got that antenna on the back, just like Falcon and Recoil. And some new outfits for a few old familiar faces. Grunt. Got an upgrade, downgrade, yellow pants. At least they're not orange, but they do have orange on them. There goes his helmet. Grunt's got a flat top now. They gave him a nice helmet. It's actually a better helmet to use with Hawk. 1986 Hawk. than the one Hawk came with. Other than the pants. Nice look for Grunt. Mercer was back in 91. Mercer version 2. This is when they started coming with all these missile launching weapons. And he's got bright red. Still sticking with the Cobra Viper color scheme. You know, it was okay the first time out, right there. But if your G.I. Joe is a former Cobra, and after several years keeps dressing like a Cobra, I would be a little concerned. So he's got like a Winter Soldier or Cable type of armored arm. And he grew a beard. Mercer has a beard now. At least he's still a brunette. Always annoying when they would change the hair color or beard color of the figures. And Flint was back as an eco-warrior. I had this one when I was a kid. Wasn't crazy about eco-warriors, but it was nice to see Flint again. And I thought, well, it's not Flint without a beret, so I made this beret. Many, many years ago. In 1991, to be precise. And there's the helmet he came with. Big old squirt gun and a giant cannon. It's goofy, it's bright green. Color changing effect on him when you get him wet. And the final figure I have for 91, the vehicle pilot, one of the battle copter pilots. It's Major Altitude. And it came with a removable helmet. It's a big helmet. Actually looks just like, oh, what's his name? In fact, I think it is a recolor of Wildcard's helmet and Wildcard's head too. Let's just double check that. How about that? By 91 they started to just reuse old parts. Up next is 1992, starting with General Flag. The son of the original General Flag. Never understood that. The timelines are a little messed up there. You'd have to be a really young general to be the son of the original General Flag. The original Flag didn't look that old. He wasn't like an old gray-haired grandpa. Cool retro look to General Flag. Bomber jacket, green pants, and a lot of familiar faces for the rest of 92. We got another version of Wild Bill. Even more retro looking than the original Wild Bill. This one was cool because he had a removable hat. Little gun. He came with a couple other accessories, but a lot of these 92, 93, 94 figures are just overloaded with accessories, and I didn't want them all bogged down with all that stuff. So I've set most of those aside. And we got another wetsuit, and this is great. Big upgrade from the original wetsuit. We can take his helmet off. And he's kind of got a mullet going there. It's got some flippers, cool black wetsuit, the bright yellow, and part of DEF is Cutter. A great second version of Cutter, very similar to the first one. Blue pants and life jacket, showing the guns off. Not just the white gun, but the biceps. He's got this, whatever this tool is, stuck on his leg. And they ditched the Red Sox hat this time. Duke gets another version. And that orange, reddish orange is back. I've given him sneak peeks binocs because binocs just seem right on Duke. I've given him standard G.I. Joe laser rifle, original Duke's backpack, The only thing from the original figure I have is his helmet, and looks a little different. Not as smiley as before. And he was dressed to the nines before in the dress blues, but this time he's ready for battle and waving Old Glory. This is a great new version of Gung Ho. He's got the Marine emblem on his chest again, although, did it shrink? Shrinkflation in effect in 1992. Comes with a humongous machine gun, and I don't know if that's his original backpack. And I love the flag that he comes with. It's like vinyl. Ace was back piloting one of the battle copters, and he came with a removable helmet with a mask on it. Very cool look. And Ninja Force came out that year, and I've got a pair of them. Storm Shadow. These are really floppy and no back screw, so you can't replace the O-ring on them. Pretty cool looking Storm Shadow. I like all the black on him. This kind of dotted flame camo look. Here's how you do it. You move one arm and it makes the other arm move. And a new character, Dojo. Another Ninja Force guy. Same thing? No. He's got an arm with a spring in it. And a little ponytail sticking out the back. And a little belt like Storm Shadow hanging off the side. And some more Ninja Force for 1993, the second last year of the original Real American Hero line. Snake Eyes, not a bad rendition of Snake Eyes. It's got bright blue. I prefer silver from this version of Snake Eyes over the blue of this one, but not bad, and different looking mask than we've seen before. A little more spooky looking. Mask for Snake Eyes. Not a bad version. Just like Storm Shadow. His arms are connected. And Scarlet finally got another figure. Wow, that's not great. What are they doing with these hips? I guess that's part of her action feature, I'm guessing. She's got a kick action. Yeah, there we go. Sword, belt, and some real hair. Nice head sculpt. But the lime green makes its return. And two more Ninja Force guys for G.I. Joe. I always thought this guy was a Cobra, but he's a Joe apparently. It's Banzai. He's got a little ponytail in the back. Cool effect on his pants. Reminds me of Bret Hart's tights when he was WWF World Champion with a spatter on it. You could actually use the pants to make a Bret Hart custom figure from this. Interesting color scheme. And what's his action feature? I think a kick too. Nope. Ah, here we go. He's got the Masters of the Universe classic waist spring. It's kind of hard to operate. Oh, he's slashing himself in the head. Gonna give himself a haircut. It's very awkward. But there we go. And Bushido, who I didn't realize was missing a very important piece of his head, his helmet, until I got home and noticed the big hole in his head. Another Ninja Force guy. What's his action feature? I don't know. His torso doesn't seem to move. Oh, there we go. He's got a arm spring. And a lot more familiar faces for 93. Starting with Duke. The first sergeant is back. You'd think he'd be a major or a colonel, or even a general. I guess it's G.I. Joe, he should be a general by now, but really nice looking. I gave him the original Duke's backpack, and Duke has to have the binocs, so hooked him up with one of the reissue pack binocs. Non-removable helmet, but it looks nice, and that's definitely Duke in there. I feel like it looks more like Duke than that previous version we just saw. Desert camo on him. I like it. Not as much as the original, but as far as Duke new versions go, I think that's the second best Duke. And is this guy supposed to be the new leader of G.I. Joe for '93? It's Colonel Courage, who looks okay, except kind of reminds me of the Phantom with those bright lime green parts. Everything on Courage, that's a great code name too. Everything on Colonel Courage looks great except for that bright green and then the bright green weapons. Other than that, nice looking Joe. And the Havoc driver, Cross Country, was back. Got a little bit of orange on him, but I don't mind that because the old Havoc had some bright orange parts to it, so it's a throwback to the old Havoc. Belt buckle, gear on his leg. He's wearing like acid washed or stone washed jeans. There's like this kind of wash effect. Yep, he's a big fan of the Dukes of Hazzard. Old Cross Country. And another familiar face, it's Leatherneck. What is he wearing? That's like giraffe camo pants. I'm giving him a recolor of the original Leatherneck. Rifle, recolor of another Marine's backpack, gung-ho. Goes nice with his hat. But yikes. When I say that some of the 90s figures are brutal, that's one of them. And another one of them is Bazooka is back with some kind of weird looking missile firing spring loaded thing. He's got his fishing vest and his fishing hat. Not terrible, but definitely not great and not as good as the original. And Beachhead is back, looking a little too Snake Eyes. I don't really like the goggles and the helmet. That's not really Beachhead to me. There's really nothing about this as Beachhead. Looks more like could have been a Snake Eyes. I've given him original Beachhead's gun and backpack and some kind of pouch, satchel, and a knife. And Frostbite was back. It's got an okay recolor, but brown hair and brown beard. And a new Snow Joe for the Arctic missions. It's Snowstorm. Don't think this is removable. This mask, this face shield. Don't have anything with him. I need to arm him up with some extra Arctic weapons. There's a different version of him that had orange, which really doesn't blend in with the snow. I went with the blue version. It's a little more Arctic. And Ace was back again. It's a recolor of his battle copter figure, but this time in green, and he came with the Ghost Striker. He's got some orange eyes. And we're in the home stretch. The final figures, 1994. Don't have many of them, but here they are, and this is the best one. This is my favorite of the 94 figures, and probably all of the 90s. It's Shipwreck. Navy SEAL Shipwreck. There he is. Mask comes off. Hooks into the body. Comes with a blade. I don't know if these are his original weapons. That kind of looks like Bullhorn's gun. Flippers. Just great throwback to the old days, the first 2-3 years of G.I. Joe. No lime green, no orange, just a gray wetsuit for underwater missions. And Flint was back. No beret. Came with this goofy looking helmet, which I'm not a big fan of. And I gave him a different shotgun, different backpack. It's Flint, I guess. Nowhere near as cool as the original version. And Lifeline got another figure. I got nothing with him. He's supposed to have like a mic on the side there, I think. But really cool looking figure. I really like the red and white with the gray. Pretty cool. And no guns, no weapons this time. Got a knife, probably for surgery on the field. And that's it for the shelves. But I got a couple of other vintage figures. They hang out in the Defiant though. This is a 92 Eco Warriors barbecue, although they've reused this mold for payload in the Star Brigade. So I figured he looks fine as an astronaut. He's got this schmutz on him because it used to have a watercolor color change thing, and it's just permanently changed now. And we also got a couple of 93 Star Brigade figures. This is a really nice one. Roadblock. Good color scheme for Space Shuttle. There's Marvin. It's a reuse of the General Hawk Rocket. This guy right there. Rocket Hawk figure. Looks great sitting in the shuttle. And then also from 93, a recolor of Countdown. Another nice looking figure. The red and the blue and the white looks perfect for astronauts, space missions. And 3 more Star Brigade figures from 93. Duke made it to space in this mech suit, which didn't have much articulation, but it's more than Deep Six had, original Deep Six. And don't have the helmet for him, but that looks like the classic head from the original Duke figure. He also had a rocket firing arm. Quite a bit of power to it. Unsafe 80s spring-loaded action. Rock and Roll got one of those space mech suits as well. Nice metallic blue color scheme to it. I don't mind these big bulky suits since they're supposed to be space suits. Space suits should be big and bulky. Nice sculpt for Rock and Roll. And last but not least, got this in a gift box from another good brother. Thank you so much. It's a recolor of the Rocket Pack General Hawk. And he looks a little more spacey. This was a mail away in 93 and a convention exclusive in 94. Batteries are dead in this pack, but it made sounds and the lights lit up. And the helmet's removable, just like the previous Hawk. And that's my updated for 2025 G.I. Joe figure collection. Vintage Real American Hero figure collection. Oh, and I forgot to mention the platforming. I mentioned it in the previous video that I did for my collection. It's styrofoam, just painted with OD green matte paint. Works great. Stadium shelving so that nobody is blocking anybody. Same up here. Really nice effect. Look at all these guys. That was fun. Fun to futz around with these guys. Especially when they sit on a shelf for a long time. Never get any attention. It's nice to just look through them. Play around with some of the features or the accessories and weapons. Well, thanks a lot for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. And thank you so much if you're one of the 100,000 people It's still surreal to say it, to hear it. 100,000 people who have subscribed to my little hobby channel. And a lot to me and my family. So, for that, thank you, and God bless you. Thanks for watching, and until next time, good night, good luck, God bless, and Nerdmas Day.